Commanders stomp all over the Carolina Panthers with their backup quarterback, 40-7.
EB, this song's never sounded better when it's drowning out the overrated Chili Peppers. It's just an added bonus.
It is better.
It's just better.
Commanders improved to 5-2 on the season, still atop the NFC East by a half game over Philadelphia, who's 4-2, despite all of the rancor and turmoil over there. They're actually 4-2. They're not as bad as what the media portrays the Eagles to be. But at 5-2, 7 games into the season, it begs the question, well, how good are they? 800-636-1067. Last week we talked about playoff possibilities, and I said, well, I would only put probably 3, maybe 4 teams ahead of the Commanders. I can't put San Francisco ahead of them anymore.
If the NFL playoffs
I can't put San
today,
Francisco ahead of them
Too
anymore.
many injuries. Too many injuries.
They're the 2 seed if it started today. Now,
Yes.
I understand the NFL playoffs don't start in mid to late October, but they're only trailing Detroit in the NFC standings
San
right now.
Francisco is having a dismal year.
Yeah, it's bad.
And most of it's because of injuries.
Mhm.
A lot of it's because of performance. But, I mean, just look at the 3 huge injuries offensively they have.
But is
with
Purdy
McCaffrey.
making good decisions like he's known for?
No, Purdy did not play. He was awful yesterday, actually. Now, one of the picks was on the receiver, Ronnie Bell. That's who they're playing, Ronnie Bell.
Well, because Debo came into the game, played like 3 plays.
And then said, I'm sick.
Yeah, and then he didn't play the rest of the game.
Ayuk's going to be out for the rest of the year.
Yep.
McCaffrey, who knows when he's coming back. But, yeah, San Francisco has been dismal.
So looking at the NFC, maybe this is outrageous, but I think it is reasonable. You can make a reasonable argument that Washington can make it to the NFC Championship game.
I mean, I suppose if the stars.
I think that's getting a little ahead of yourself, but
probably.
I think you're jumping the gun a little bit.
Probably.
Yeah.
But
I'm just saying it's reasonable to make that argument.
I think that they're a good team.
I'm not saying I would predict that. I'm just saying right now, you could. It's not an outrageous statement to say I could see Washington make it to the NFC Championship
not
game.
outrageous.
I feel Detroit is the best team in the NFC
You
right
know what?
now.
I think it'll be a good barometer when they play Philadelphia.
Right.
Yeah.
That'll be a really good barometer because the 2 teams with winning records that they've played this year, Baltimore and Tampa they've lost to. All right,
And
now Cincinnati, I think is better than their record.
Yeah.
But still, they're 3-4. So
I think
let me see them.
will be a good one.
Let me see them. Sure.
Pittsburgh's a really good test.
I think Chicago's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chicago's going to be a test.
If Jaden's not playing, in the back of my mind, I kind of give the lead, the
To
nod.
Chicago.
Yeah, in my heart, I'm
Yeah.
going to think, they're probably favored.
Yeah, because the Bears are going to have a whole
Well, they would
full
have
week.
to be favored if
Yeah.
Caleb plays and Jaden doesn't.
Yes.
I would think they'd 3.5, 4-point favorites.
That's what I
Easy.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
800-636-1067.
But I do think that they're legit because they are. You can't control your schedule, and if the team's good or bad or whatever, when you play a team like Carolina, if you're any good at all, you got to pound them, and they pounded them.
Yeah.
Like better than I could have ever imagined.
That was a great sign.
Better than I could have ever imagined.
And last week, I think when we talked about the NFC, we talked about the Vikings, who at the time were undefeated. They lose to the Lions. And look, they have a defense which has caused a lot of problems for quarterbacks, although not to Jared Goff. All right. I don't know that I put, like last week, just out of respect and them being undefeated, I would have said the Vikings are better than the Commanders, but I don't really believe that.
Maybe not, but
Darnold is doing fine,
he's been
but he's
good.
starting to throw picks too.
But look at their schedule. They just faced Detroit. Tough, obviously. They have a short week. They're facing the Rams on the road. Then they host the Colts. They're at Jacksonville, at Tennessee. It's a very doable schedule for them over the next month.
Should win the majority of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll be fine, but I don't know that they're better.
Well, we don't know until they play.
All right, let's make some of these calls. A bunch of people want to chime in. How good is this team? Let's go to Tim in Suitland.
By the way, Darnold's thrown interceptions in his last 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, I feel like he's coming back to earth a little bit.
Yeah, he is.
Tim.
Hey, buddies.
What's up, Tim?
How are you, pal? What do you think?
Good. I think that we can probably make the playoffs. I think each week they're showing signs of improvement.
Mm-hmm.
And like yesterday, we beat a bad team, but we beat them like we supposed to.
Right.
Back in the days of the old, Redskins or whatever, we would have struggled with teams like that, and sometimes lose. But if you beat the teams that you're supposed to beat, that shows improvement to me. And we had one of the best records in the NFL. I mean, you can only play the teams that are put in front of you as a schedule.
Right.
And we're doing pretty well. I mean, I don't like these the design runs for Jalen. I called y'all last week and told you that.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to run anyway because he's going to run when he thinks he should run.
Right.
But I don't like them designing runs.
Maybe a couple, but we don't need 6 or 7 designed runs.
No. We
keep them
have
honest with a couple, but we don't need 6 or 7.
I mean, we have running backs. Run the ball.
Maybe more bootlegs.
They're doing that too.
Like bootlegs with the option to run if he has it versus just like the sweeps.
I'm just
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for the call. I'm just upset at myself for picking the stupid Carolina Panthers to score 20 points on the Commanders on Friday.
Well, we thought that they would pound it.
That team is especially horrible.
Well, Dalton was particularly bad, but we thought they were going to pound it and that we weren't going to stop the run.
They were able to contain Hubbard until he got a garbage touchdown late.
And then we got out to such a big lead they couldn't really run it.
I am very much vexed by the fact that Andy Dalton was playing so late into that game. Yeah. And then with like 5 minutes left, they're like, sure, we'll throw Bryce Young in for
that made no sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
He should have started the second half.
That's a very confusing team to me.
Yeah.
They've got a weird aura around them.
I mean, what did they think that unless Dalton was banged up, which I don't think he was.
Right.
He looked fine.
What are you putting him in there for one series?
I don't
My guess is there's some sort of mandate from ownership to sit him. And
I don't know. You would think, I mean, their ownership is bad and it's toxic and it's weird, but you would think that when the game is that far out of hand, hey, throw Bryce Young in for 2 or 3 series.
Yeah, what's that going to show you?
Let's see if he can do anything.
Nothing.
That's
not going to show you
salvageable.
Yeah, it made no sense. Let's go to Michael. Smith Mountain Lake. Where the heck is that?
No clue.
What's up,
Good morning,
Michael?
guys. Raise hail.
What's up?
What's up, man? Where is that? Where's Smith Mountain Lake?
Smith Mountain Lake. Have you ever heard of Goodview? I'm about 40 minutes from Roanoke.
Okay,
deep.
nice.
Yeah.
We have 522 miles of shoreline.
Wow.
It's an awesome lake. If you haven't looked up Smith Mountain Lake, man, it's paradise in heaven.
He's just looking it up right
looking
now.
It up as we speak.
He's seeing if he can buy a condo there.
It takes forever to get there.
In fact, my girlfriend, PJ Bell, by herself, dude, she'll hook you up. She's the biggest realtor in freaking Smith Mountain Lake, bro.
Hold on, for what? Realtor.
Oh, she's a real estate agent.
All right, Valdez, there you go.
So
You have golf courses out there or what?
I'm sorry?
You have golf courses out there?
Oh, dude, is the fat baby sweat?
All right, okay. I guess that's a yes.
This guy's a comedian.
Fat baby
This guy's
sweat.
doing the material. 9-12.
All right, go ahead. What do you got on the skins?
Check this out. I got this. I got a few talking points here. How good is this team? I mean, the fact that I know Jaden Daniels' football IQ is kind of like the Black Mamba. It's next level, right? He's going to learn from that run yesterday, first off. He doesn't need to juice every run for each yard like our previous RG3 did, right? He could have easily at some point when he busted that 47-yard run, at 30 yards, he could have just slid.
No, he ain't going to do that. He ain't going to just give himself
Not at 30, but right at the end when he went down, he could have.
Or he could have run
cut
out
to
of
the
bounds.
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though. At the end there, he couldn't. Because at the end, when those guys were right there on him, that's why he ate it the way he did. And if he just learns to live another day and takes 30 yards, we're going to kill teams. We are killing teams. Now, when you look at Cliff Kingsbury, I mean, the rest of the NFC East right now has to be freaking out because I guarantee you, along with me and everybody else, who before yesterday, thought Marcus Mariota was kind of washed, right? And he comes in yesterday, and that offense just hummed, right? Like, if I was Adam Peters, I would be strolling, I'd be kicking down the door into Josh Harris's office saying, we need to lock Cliff Kingsbury up and make him by far the highest paid OC.
I think he has a 4-year deal, doesn't he, or a 3-year deal?
Okay, give him 3 more years. Add 3 more years. I don't care. Like, Cliff Kingsbury has found his happy place, right? It's just designing runs and designing plays. And we do need Jaden. We do need Jaden to do runs because that totally, without him running the ball and just being a passer, that changes our offense, man.
So how good do you think they are to answer the question, which I don't think you ever really answered? Do you think this is a team that could make a Super Bowl, make an NFC Championship game, win a playoff game?
Right now, as is, I've loved this team since 1982. I've got a Redskins tattoo. Like, I have to say our defense against really good teams is going to be our Achilles heel.
Right.
It just is.
Thanks, pal.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, buddy.
I think we shorted him on his talking points, but I think that's okay.
Yeah,
what's realistic for
I
you?
think he talked enough.
Cakes, what's realistic for you? One playoff win?
I mean,
Two playoff wins?
One playoff win with a brand new regime and a rookie quarterback.
Of
that's
course.
huge progress.
Of course it is.
Be fantastic.
Kind of just depends on the matchup, where they're playing them.
Matchup, yeah.
I mean, if Washington wins the division and they're hosting a game and you're playing Atlanta, why couldn't they win that game?
Definitely.
But if you don't win the division, you're a wild card and you have to go to Detroit or go to Minnesota. All right, well, that's going to be tough. It's going to be very difficult.
Dave, what do you got? What do you think?
Junkies, what up, though?
What's up, Dave?
Listen, man, I think opposite of what Lurch is talking about. I just been sitting back listening to Lurch.
Mm-hmm.
You sound like a hater, man. You know, you sound like a big hater.
Why?
One of those.
Why do you Why do you think I'm a hater?
Because you sound like everybody. Oh, they're playing teams that don't have a winning record, and the two teams they beat, have winning records, and the teams that we beat up on, they're not good.
That's all facts.
But and then you say, as far as the playoffs go, it's going to be a tough battle if we go against Detroit and Green Bay and all. Listen, bro, the playoffs are coming to Landover. Do you hear what I'm telling you? They're coming.
All right, so you think they're going to win the division?
I got them winning the division. Now, as far as expectations, Lurch, I think in the playoffs, the furthest they will go divisional round. If they get to the NFC Championship, so be it. But at the end of the day, I heard one of the junkies say they're number 2 seed right now. So the way they playing football, I think the worst they can drop, bro, is at 4 at worst, bro, at worst. And with that being said,
well, no, not if you don't win the division, because the way it's set up, the division winners are the top 4 seeds, right?
Right, so they got right. So that's what I'm saying. It's going to come to Landover. They're going to be 1, 2, 3, or 4. That's all I'm saying. And I say that because I'm only scared about Philadelphia. They got a light schedule getting ready to come down the pack. I mean, they play some weak teams. They get ready to beat up on some teams that have losing records. But I feel like if we split 1-1 with them and just handle the opponents that they put in front of us, we have a great chance winning the NFC East, and we will be in the divisional round of the playoffs. Hey, get your tickets, get ready, because the playoffs are coming to Landover.
No, he's very confident in that talking point.
That'll be fun,
Thank you for the call. Commanders, according to NFL.com, currently 63% playoff probability.
Ooh, that seems low.
There's a lot. There's so much football to be played.
That means 37% chance we're getting aced out.
What are the Eagles?
Eagles are
probably slightly below
61%.
Okay.
Bears,
I just look at the NFC.
Why am
I look at the NFC.
I disagree with callers like that because we're throwing this topic out there. Not everybody believes one thing.
Right.
And all I'm saying is there's a ton of football to be played.
Sure.
Right? And I'm just being realistic.
But in this moment,
I'm just being realistic.
How many teams in the NFC you think are better than the Commanders right now? I understand matchups and all that stuff. Those are valid points. But right now,
are you basing it on record or are you?
No, I'm based on what you see. I do believe Detroit's better than them. Tampa, who did beat
Philadelphia,
Washington
might be better than Washington.
That's fine. Yeah. I don't have a problem with you picking a team. With
they might be. We just have to see them play it out on the field.
I think Washington could beat.
Guess who do you think's better?
I don't know who's better. I would probably pick Philadelphia.
Right.
But I mean, when they play, I mean, there could be injuries that we don't. You can't predict that stuff. You just can't.
But in this right now, I'll say this: I think the Commanders are as good as anybody. Now, are they better than Minnesota, Tampa, Green Bay? Some of these teams, maybe not, but they're in the same tier. The only team I put above them is Detroit, and it's because of the way they're rolling the last 3 weeks. Is there another team that you put definitively better than Washington in the NFC?
It's hard to at this point.
I know that Tampa beat them, but I don't put them definitively above Washington.
Okay, so
I would have put San Francisco.
So now you're saying head-to-head doesn't matter.
No, you could be saying
that's what you're saying.
Playing,
it was head-to-head in week 1.
Yeah, you're saying we're playing better now than we did in week 1. So we might.
But I'm saying you have to factor in head-to-head.
Of course, you give them the benefit.
Okay, so do you think Tampa is definitively better than Washington?
Definitively better? Probably not.
That's my point.
But they're head-to-head. They beat them. So I'm going to say right now, I'm taking head-to-head. I'm taking Tampa over Washington if they played them again.
Okay, that's fair.
I would take whoever I think is playing the best, not necessarily based on the previous result.
Yeah,
because I think
we're jumping the gun a little bit because of the teams that Washington has beaten.
Maybe, But I'm going to guess next time we play Baker, he ain't going to slither out of like 9 sacks like he did the first time we played.
Let's hope not.
You also might want to double Mike Evans.
Well, yeah, because he was a problem. Chris Godwin's a problem, too.
They're going to score points.